Right, good afternoon from Warsaw. This is Las Bielańskie, the forest right next to the Bielane area of Warsaw. And I'm on the way to Emery Kamadulskie, which is a sort of previously inhabited sanctuary here right in the forest. So this is essentially in the suburbs of Warsaw. And I'm pretty much the only one in the forest, it seems. So you can, with a couple of tram stops, get to a very nice and hilly area. It's basically an actual forest without many people around. Makes for some nice exploring and the break of the city. It is the end of August right now. It is super dry in the city. You can see it on the ground, in the trees. Hasn't rained at all for a pretty long time, I think. So that's not good. And I also read that the Vistula River is at just 10 centimeters, which is a very low level, extremely low. It's a bit alarming, so yeah. Any case, it's still a very chill place to walk around here. It's crazy that this is just within the city limits pretty much. I'm very glad they keep it this way and don't build blocks of apartments everywhere. It's a real nice surprise because I didn't expect that it's an actual hilly fortress with a bit of ups and downs and staircases. It's a shame that the river, the little stream there, has dried up. I hope in autumn this will be a nice place to walk around a bit, a little bit more fresh. And although I must say it is pretty cool here because let's say you just wake up early, you live in this area, you can just literally walk into the forest, take a bit of a, I don't know, a stroll or a run, and then you just go to work or whatever. It's, some people actually have to leave the city limits for a little piece of forest like this, and for me it's just like not that far. Now there are certain parts of the forest where you're not allowed. It says that there's falling trees. It must be because of some bug in the trees, which is also the case in Białowieża. And says don't go in here, turn around for your own safety. Well, that's about this trail, but the rest you can walk, and I suppose there they do actual tree maintenance, cutting off the tops that are affected, right? So it stays an area safe of falling trees, which can be like super dangerous. And I noticed in Białowieża that I was quite anxious even on the main trails because I just heard the cracking of the trees around, which was pretty frightening. But here, yeah, you gotta pay a bit of attention to the signs every now and then. What a super beautiful place. There is about to be a wedding ceremony, I believe. It is almost 1 in the afternoon. So some people very nicely dressed are gathering with flowers, bouquets, and these beautiful summer dresses. I must say, people in Poland often they really dress up for occasions, which is more apparent in the older generations and outside of the city in particular. Very fancily dressed even for a normal restaurant visit. So I was in Żywiec last week with my parents, and we were in like a pretty normal restaurant, but people were like super dressed up. It wasn't anything super fancy or elegant, like it was good, but people really dressed up for the occasion. high heels with beautiful dresses and half suits, even beautiful like jewelry, like nothing. I wouldn't say the people are like insanely rich or something, but very tasteful and elegant. And we were sat in a sort of room with my parents, and all the people that left, so we took a bit long to eat, they all said like "Do widzenia" to us, even if my parents were facing the room with their backs, they were like "Do widzenia" when they left, which is even in Warsaw you see that quite often. You can go to a bakery in the morning and people who walk in, they'll greet you. It's a bit of a, you have sort of the same in Germany, in the countryside, Slovakia as well, Ukraine not that much, Bulgaria not at all, Netherlands not anymore, Belgium somewhat, France obviously, and Italy as well. I think it's a bit tied in with Catholicism, with a tradition that the dressing up and politeness, the greeting, I find that more prevalent in Catholic countries. For example, in Czech Republic you don't see it much either. The dressing up, neither the greeting. Not saying that it's related to people being polite or not, but I find that the actual Catholic countries are slightly more traditional in that sense. Same goes for Austria as well. Very much similar. Interesting observation I had in Živec. So what's the nice part is the houses in the same complex. I think this was saved from the war because it looks all quite old and original, and you have these gorgeous countryside vibes here. I suppose people still live here, but not necessarily tied to the church complex, but perhaps they are, I'm not sure. But this is awesome. Wouldn't mind having a house here, honestly, because it's a bit strange to have all of this like in the city. I find Warsaw sometimes you have a bit of a time warp where suddenly you feel like you're either in like a small town or just sort of cut off part, which is really cool. Look at this. It's not something you'd see in, I don't know. Perhaps you do need to just explore a city, like you'll find corners like this in Vienna, for example, a bit up in the hills. That's why it's worth to explore the world, you know, you just get surprised by things every now and then. So I always love going to grill places, and there's a couple of them in Warsaw outside the city limits, pretty much, or center limits. We have Wesoła Taverna right here, the Happy Tavern. Check this place out for some good sausage. So far so good. Ordered a kakówka zestaw for 40 zł and the beer is 15, so 55 total. Lovely terrace. It's a super nice day here on the eastern shores of the Vistula River, Białowęka area. Had no idea there's this much cool stuff to do. I'm now at a chapel, a church right here. And just the peace and quiet, it feels as if I'm far outside the city, but it's a super chill day without actually having to leave the area. So all of this is actually in Warsaw City, which is pretty incredible if you ask me. So I get to a pretty fancy suburb here called Choszczówka, and it is pretty much as far as I can get with my Zone 1 public transport ticket for Warsaw. There is a bus going here 313, Nice little bus. And there's a train station as well, with which I can take the S train back to the city. But right on the edge of the suburb, there's a forest, sort of a birch forest with in it all types of memorials as well to soldiers, and it's a pretty widespread area, and it starts right there at the edge of the houses. What a awesome day. There's a lot more to do here than I expected in this whole east area. Barely just scratching the surface. I wonder how many people in Warsaw actually know of all these places, because I'm not really meeting any bikers or anything like that. It seems that most people actually stick with the parks, downtown Warsaw, and for biking the Vistula Boulevard. But then in actual places with some calm, I barely see anyone. Nice and fancy suburb. I would love to live here. Well, it's all nice on a summer's day, right? Everywhere. That's the thing. See here, you're immediately in the forests. And here you go, you leave the city limits and you're immediately on the sandy forest grounds. Super nice, nicely maintained. Let's explore a little bit. Now that was a pretty good hike, and from here I can take the train straight into the city again.